Right. So if two people making about $30,000 to $40,000 a year with decent credit can come up with about $11,000 up front, you can probably get into a property like this. Let's get started on the tour. If you're looking to just have properties like this emailed or texted to you directly and you're not ready for like that phone call or anything, QR code up in the screen and in the description I have a link to what I call the VIP list. So put your criteria there, let me know what you're looking for, and as soon as possible I'll get to the computer and send you properties like that so that you can kind of explore what's happening out here before the phone calls. And if it's your first time buying a home or you want like a refresher, I got a home buyer seminar virtual via Zoom in the description as well, and on the QR code you're gonna find the link for free, unless if you want to pay me. You pay me $5, I don't know. Anyways, it's a free webinar kind of going over the home buying process. I do mortgages and real estate, so I'll be able to give you both perspectives of what to do, what not to do, and different scenarios that might benefit you, and some of the success stories and programs that I have access to. So if you want to get on that webinar, it's happening I think 1 or 2 Thursdays from now. Get on the QR code or in the description, get in the link, and you can actually have access to it. Today's subject property is this awesome corner lot, low 300K. Amazing home. With just $11,000, you have enough of a down payment there to pretty much put a down payment on this property. And then we just got to negotiate the closing costs with like the seller to kind of get you a good deal there. But you can kind of see here, we have some more space to grow over there. It looks like that tree is for sale, or I think the lot might be for sale and they just put the sign on the tree. Either way, peaceful, quiet, beautiful corner lot. Too much grass for me to cut, but to each their own. Some people might like this. If this is your first time here, my name is Joe Denny. I'm a Florida realtor and mortgage broker. I'm able to shop 61 different lenders with one credit pull, and we could actually get started with a soft credit pull if you're not ready. Also, I had a comment recently, well, somebody commented saying, hey, do you have video tours without all the talking? And we actually do. We launched a new channel, so in the description and on the QR code as well, which should be somewhere on the screen, you're gonna have access to this new channel we have where it's just a walkthrough with a little bit of background elevator music going on, nothing too crazy. Hopefully I don't get no copyright strikes from YouTube, but cool side project there. If you just want the home tour, it's pretty quick, sometimes 4, 5, 6 minutes. You'll get some drone shots there as well. So if you want the whole home tour with the whole experience, keep watching. If you just want the quick walkthrough, then stop right here, and at the bottom the link's somewhere in there and you'll get access to the quick walkthrough. I think the awesomeness of this property starts right when you drive up, and you got these pavers here on the driveway. Gives us some nice curb appeal. A lot of the builders in this price point, they're not putting these awesome pavers there. So what's going for this property already curb appeal wise is it being on the corner lot and these awesome pavers here. And look at those colors. You have a nice mixture of light creamy colors with like the black. Let's step inside your home. All right, we're inside. So we're located in Marion Oaks. We're in unit 4 to be exact. So we're not too far into the other units. The numbers go pretty high over here. Right when you walk in, you're gonna have access to one of the rooms over here, 2 of the rooms over here, your 2-car garage over there, and you're gonna have access to your primary suite on that side. So according to my new fancy measuring laser tool, this first room, right when you walk into the left, is gonna be 9.48 by 11.39 as far as the dimensions go. So that's that first room there. Over here, you're gonna have access to a bathroom and the other 2 rooms. Now, I wanna be careful in that room there because there's a huge spider. Let's see if we can kind of get it on camera. I don't know if it's sleeping. I don't wanna bug it. Get it? Bug it. All right, so I got the measurements. This room here, 11.35 by 9.47. This room here, 11.28 by 9.46. So they're pretty spot on. Maybe I might have moved a little bit, but they seem to be dimensionally similar sizes. As far as the dimensions go in this first bathroom, we got 4.95 by 8.08. It wasn't the easiest to kind of get the dimensions like here, but I got 19 by 20.9. So I was able to start like kind of like right here somewhere, going that way, and then from this wall to that wall over there. So you got 19 by 20.9, kind of like your living room area, because right off the kitchen over here, you have a small little dining room area. You got the laundry room right over here, pretty nice size. And then you have your garage right over here. So your laundry room, 7.02 by 4.95. Garage, 18.69 by 19.65. But let's also kind of figure out from like top to bottom. 9.37 dimensions there, up and down. By the way, if you've made it this far in the video, consider subscribing to the channel so you can see future videos like this. And if you like this new laser tool that I got, drop a like and I'll continue to bring it with me if the batteries don't run out. And we're in your primary suite. So you're gonna have 2 closets here. You're also gonna have like 2 windows here. Now, the dimensions of this room are 12.53 by 13.71. The bathroom is 11 by 10. It's closet number 1. Closet number 2 goes a little bit further in, so it's a little bit bigger. Right. Very, very shiny countertop there. Very nice. Got the tub. Very nice. So we're going to the home studio now, where we're going to talk about what the numbers look like to get into a property like this. And we'll go in details with some of the down payment options, closing costs, monthly payment simulations. You know, being in the mortgage industry, whenever you're ready to have that conversation of like what your scenario looks like, I'm able to start off with a soft credit pool, collecting a few docs and kind of simulating what you can or can't qualify for. And it's never too early. So if you're like, I would say if you're 3 to 6 months out, run the hard credit pool. But when you're like 6 months out or longer, get a soft credit pool. It's not gonna affect your score. It'll import the liabilities and the scores into our system, which will kind of help us determine debt to income, program eligibility, down payment assistance options. We could simulate so many things by doing that. That way we can help you out. And if the system, if it determines you may not be ready yet, it'll help us create action plans for you so that you can get mortgage ready. Now, who you work with does make a difference, because there's some people out there that once they ask you about your timeline, it's like a switch goes off in their head and they're like, yeah, there's no money coming for me right away from this person, so let me just give them some generic information and tell them to follow up with me in the future. Whereas I got clients as of this morning that are like, hey, I'm moving in 2027, and I'm already booking showing appointments with them, because I'm like, hey, fly down here and let's go explore different areas that you might be into. And although those houses might not be there, Are the communities going to disappear? No, you're going to get an idea of like what communities are where, what you like about certain communities and what you don't like. So work with somebody like me who's going to, help you no matter what your timeline is. Don't work with those realtors and mortgage lenders that are like, oh no, if you're not transacting right now, I'm not going to help you. But let's get back to the studio and let's talk about what these numbers look like and what the home buying process looks like in a few moments. All right, my favorite part. Let's talk about the numbers. I'm also a licensed mortgage loan officer with a mortgage broker, so I'm able to talk about some numbers. So we're in Marion Oaks, 34473. We are checking out Marion Oaks. This builder is called Booming Homes LLC. So there goes the iPad screen. Booming Homes LLC. They want $315,000 for the home. The asking price doesn't mean that's what you have to offer. You're able to kind of like negotiate it. And the way that I look at it is you got to kind of pick your battles. Like no matter how you ask for the discount, whether it's off the price or in concessions, it's all coming out of the bottom line of the seller. So I would say if the more important thing for you is to save money at closing, I would say ask for the closing costs. But if you're buying like cash, then I would say, yeah, ask for the discount on the front. But when you want to get like $10,000, $20,000 off the front and then $10,000, $20,000 off the closing costs, it's not that you're asking for too much, it's that they're combining it and that total number is being taken out of the seller's bottom line. So sometimes it's better to kind of figure out what the bigger goal is. Yeah, let's go for both. Let's figure out how we get both discounted. But then I have to know like what's the bigger goal to kind of like make sure we at least get that. So 315 is where they're starting. 4.2, nice size home, 1833. 2-car garage. We're on .29. We're on that corner lot. So you have all that space there. You saw all the grass there to cut, a lot of grass. Public water, septic's gonna be for the sewer. Property taxes, estimate like around $4,500, maybe $5,000. Estimating on HOI, homeowners insurance, could be around $1,800. I actually just got an HOI for another client recently for like $800 for the year. So I'm using higher numbers to give you like a very conservative estimate there. No flood insurance required there. These are some of the upgrades. You got the 9-foot ceilings, luxury laminate flooring, spa-like master bath, granite counter, and stainless steel appliances. No HOA, no CDD, which is a plus. A lot of people that reach out to me that want to buy in the Marion Oaks area, the Ocala area, they don't want no HOAs and no CDD. Now, let's talk about potential loan options. So if you're doing an FHA, 3.5% down, your monthly payment should float around mid-2000s on a property like this, with the down payment being around $11,000, which is basically 3.5% of $315K. Closing costs is just an estimate, could be around 4%-ish, so like at $12,000, $13K, which puts your total cash to close like around $24,000. We're able to ask for seller concessions up to 6% on FHA. So the thing about the seller concessions is it cannot cover the down payment. So if you do need help with the down payment, I have programs available as well. And just closed one 48 hours ago where we were able to get the buyer a down payment program and some seller concessions combined. So at closing, their total cash to close combined from start to finish was like $2,700. So if you want a deal like that, let me know and I can help you with that as well. We got some good down payment programs available. VA, 0% down, puts you at $25, $22 a month, not too far off from the FHA option. Closing costs are gonna be pretty much the same, but my goal is to get you some savings. So let's see if the seller's willing to cover it all. I have a VA client now that I just spoke to actually, who tomorrow morning I'm gonna go make a video for them, and I want to get them a deal. I'm gonna fight so hard to get them a deal on that house. It's harder when it's only one house that the person likes. It's sometimes easier when they have multiple houses they like, because we can kind of like, if you want 10K, I'm asking for 15, and let's let them come back at 10K. You know, we're playing the game that you see on TV shows. But when it's only one house, it's like kind of pressure, like, oh my God, pressure, like, what do I do? But I'm still gonna try. Conventional 5% down puts you around the $2,500, $15,750 in down payment, same closing costs, and we'll be at $28,000 in cash to close there. Assuming you're buying it as a second home, 10% down, you'll be a little bit under $2,500. Cash to close on this scenario is gonna be a little bit higher because 10% down, closing costs. So 40, your mid 40s to low 50s right there. Conventional 20% down. This is wrong here. We can't get 9%, but we're going to have 2,200 there, 63,000 in down payment, which puts the total cash to close around $70,000, $80,000 for like a 20% down scenario. Now, when you're buying a home, some people don't know this, but you actually skip the following month. You don't skip a payment, like nothing, it's not getting waived or anything, but you're skipping the following month. And the way that that works is if you're buying a home in March and we're in mid-March when it closes, they're calculating to the day a prorated amount of interest from the middle of March to the end of March. And then in April, there's no payment due because the first one's gonna be in May. And what's gonna happen in May is they're gonna be charging the interest in arrears for what April would have charged. So there's this illusion of like, I skip a month, I skip a payment. You skip a month, but you don't skip a payment because the actual first payment isn't until like the month after that. So if you were ever like on the line of like timing of like, when's the perfect time to like kind of buy it so that I can not have to pay rent and mortgage, well, just keep that in mind that depending on when in the month you buy it, the later in the month you buy it, the lower your closing costs will be because it's less prorated interest, less prepaid prorated interest that you're paying. The earlier in the month, the more you're paying, but the following month, there's still no mortgage due because the month after that is when they're gonna start charging your mortgage. So some buyers don't know that, so I thought I should kind of like go over what that would look like. And if you want a more detailed explanation, just obviously call me and I'll go over that with you. Let's talk about the home buying process. So if you see my video before, you know what I'm about to say, so just log off now or wait till the end to go see the drone footage. But with the home buying process here, I'm also a mortgage license or loan originator that works for a mortgage broker. With one credit pool, we shop 61 different lenders. And what we'll do is if you would like a soft pull first, just let me know. That way we can kind of get an idea of what's going on before we actually do the hard credit pull. There's two different agreements when you're working with a realtor. You get to decide, do you want to do like a longer commitment with a buyer broker agreement or just a temporary one, like a showing agreement for like the day or something like that. You get to decide that. And then we'll talk about the buyer protections that you get in those types of agreements. And I'll give you my personal guidance throughout the process. The way that I collaborate with clients is through my website. So I send properties to the client. They favorite and like the ones that they like and favorite, or they screenshot them or write down the addresses and they send them to me. And I'm able to go in a day or two before our appointments and just literally schedule all the showings. So no matter if you want to see 4 or 5 properties or 30 or more properties, doing it on my website is going to be the best option. And I collaborate with each other there on that. Now, once we found the property that we like, right? We got to put something in writing on what type of offer you want to offer. And then we got to figure out your earnest money deposit, your EMD deposit, the escrow, anywhere between 1 to 10%. If your offer is accepted, then you wire the money to the title company. You don't give me any money or the seller any money. It's a title company who holds the money while they're doing all the paperwork for you. I add protective clauses into the contract, which we call contingency. So there's several things that I would like to protect your deposit with by saying, we want to get a home inspection. We want to get an appraisal done. We want to get the financing figured out. And if there's a sale of a buyer's home, there's different contingencies that we can add to the contract to protect your deposit. Sometimes the sellers don't like all those contingencies though. But two of the main ones are the inspection one and the appraisal one. You want to get the property inspected within like the first week, figure out if there's any issues, so we can kind of renegotiate with the seller so they can fix them. You want to get it appraised about 2-3 weeks later to determine the value of the property. And it's funny because appraisals are temporary opinions of value. So there's no set price on what your home is worth. It actually changes multiple times a month, maybe even multiple times a day, depending on who appraises your property and when they go. If you're getting a mortgage, you're going to get bombarded with a bunch of needs requested, and it's so annoying, and I apologize. But the processor's job that works with us is trying to just get your file as clean as possible so that when it's handed to the underwriter, they just say, check, you're clear to close. And sometimes they got to go back and forth and get letters of explanation, additional pay stubs, additional documents. So trust me, we're doing it for a reason because we want to get you to the closing table. And when we get to the closing table, you'll sign the final paperwork, fund the transaction with the rest of your money, your cash to close. The bank sends their money, their wire transfer, and then it's time to celebrate. When you're buying a home in Florida, these are some things you want to kind of like do some research on. New construction benefits, HOA and CDD fees, which by the way, this property is not in an HOA or CDD. And you want to look into the homestead exemption as well. That's where you will get a break on your taxes, and you have added protection as well when it comes to like the ownership of your property. But if you found any value in this video at all, drop a like on the video, share it with somebody who might be looking to buy a home in Florida. Or if you just need help with me for me to help you with the financing side or a refinance, and you already have a realtor, I would love to help out as well. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next video.